would involve the schedule that we have right now is an early start. So come in very early in the morning.
What time's that?
5:30, between 5:30 and 6:30.
Okay.
So come in and get on the computer and check up the flight schedule for the day, and each aircraft is assigned a certain flight for that day of the destination, and that corresponds to the aircraft's tail number. And then we get those organized and figure out what gates at the airport they're departing out of. And then some of them are here overnight, and some of them are on the red-eye flights inbound into Dulles Airport here. So we have to be ready, get the staff ready to meet those airplanes as they arrive, and then service them and take care of the baggage and get them ready for the departures, so to the proper cities. And that would involve making sure the bags get on the right plane.
Yep.
Making sure it's serviced, making sure that commissary and the catering get on the plane, making sure all the equipment's ready to go, checked out for the day, and getting ready to try to beat the clock as far as getting the plane pushed out on time. So that would be the first part of the day. So, and then it would be sort of the same cycle, preparing for the next bank is what they call them. So the next inbounds coming in and preparing those for the next departures. And listening to the radio a lot.
Yes, sir. Need a back out to Portland.
They'd be expected to park the aircraft in the proper spots, safely take care of the airplane when it arrives, chalking it and coning it to put up safety cones, keep damage to a minimum. Use the equipment to download all the baggage and cargo or any type of freight that we're carrying, and then other agents from a different department are responsible for taking all of that to its proper destination, be it baggage claim or the maintenance hangar or anywhere where the stuff that comes off the airplane from the outstations needs to go. And then they would be responsible for making sure they know how many bags the customers have checked for that flight and making sure those bags get on the proper outbound flight. Yeah, the big unit over there is the high pressure air start unit. So if on the airplanes, the CRJs or the Airbus planes, that if their APU is not working, the auxiliary power unit, which is what the crew uses to start up the engines with, then we can hook the high pressure air unit up to it, which is basically just a big diesel engine with a large compressor in there. It sends out super compressed air, and they bleed that into the engines where they get the fans to turn, rather than have the high pressure air from the APU. And then what they can do is once they get them spinning, then they would add fuel and then start the engines with that instead. So it's sort of it's a time-consuming way to do it, but if it's that or it means the flight doesn't go, then it's a very valuable tool.
And what's the other one here?
The other one is the air conditioning cart. So the jetways, the jet bridges that connect to the terminal, they have their own air conditioning units that you plug into the plane, the low pressure air, the cooling air. But if those are broken or being reworked, then we have our own, once again, diesel powered air conditioning cart that hooks up to the plane to keep the cabin cool.
Just while it's on the ground.
While it's on the ground. Same with the ground power units, where the big cables that plug into the nose of the plane. If those aren't working, then we have the portable ones too. We could tow around and give them power. One of the other things that we do is, on the ramp here, is responsible for relocation of the aircraft when they're not under power from their engines. And so we get trained on starting up their auxiliary power units and the hydraulic systems, the radio systems, and then one of our responsibilities is moving either spare airplanes or airplanes that come in and then go on maintenance to the proper gate, or the proper, they call it hard stand or spare gates. So we end up doing that, working with somebody driving one of the tractors who's hooked up to the airplane to tow, and then you communicate with the various towers on their frequencies to figure out when it's safe to tow in the controlled areas, and much like taxiing a plane, but you're being towed rather than under your own power. So, and that's fun too. It gets a little hectic when it's really crowded out there, but
That's my favorite time to do it, though.
okay. More crowded the better?
Yeah.
That's probably my least favorite time to do it. So I like it when it's wide open. Potable water, the clean drinking water that the airplanes carry. So we fill that and using those, and then it has the lavatory truck. It's the same thing, that with the toilets on the plane, that they get drained and then recharged for each departure. So.
What do you do when that truck fills up with poo-poo?
Fills up with bad stuff. We take it over to the circulator over there, and it's a giant smelly area where you dump it down in the bottomless pit, and it goes down through some sort of grinder, which I don't care to explain, and then hose it down and fill it back up with semi-clean water, and then you're ready to go home and take a shower.